In the chaotic theaters of World War II, German fire superiority was built on the back of the machine gun. Unlike Allied doctrine, which centered on the individual rifleman, German infantry tactics revolved around the machine gun as the core of the squad. From precision-engineered masterpieces to desperate aircraft conversions, these weapons dictated the pace of battle across Europe. Today, we're looking at every major machine gun used by the Wehrmacht. The MG-34 lineage, universal design. Maschinengewehr 34, MG-34. The Spandau. The MG-34 was the first successful modern general-purpose machine gun, often referred to by Allied troops as the Spandau. It is instantly recognizable by its high-quality machined cooling jacket and the unique double-crescent trigger that allowed for both semi-auto and full-auto fire. This weapon was the heart of the German squad, prized for its surgical precision and modularity, which allowed it to swap between bipods and heavy tripods in seconds. However, its tight tolerances made it notoriously sensitive to the freezing mud and grit of the Eastern Front, requiring constant maintenance to stay operational. MG-34 Panzerlauf, the Panzer MG. The MG-34 Panzerlauf was the armored fist of the Panzer Corps, serving as the primary-secondary armament for everything from the Panzer III to the Tiger II. You'll notice the heavier, reinforced barrel jacket with almost no ventilation holes, a design specifically intended to prevent dust and debris from choking the gun inside the cramped confines of a tank hull. This variant sacrificed the infantry bipod and stock for a streamlined, rigid profile that fit perfectly into ball mounts and coaxial sleeves. It was the ultimate coaxial killer, designed to suppress enemy anti-tank teams and strip away infantry before they could get close enough to plant a satchel charge. MG-34-41, the MG-34 New. The MG-34-41 was a rare, high-speed simplification effort designed to bridge the gap between artisanal craftsmanship and the brutal reality of mass production. Look for the shorter barrel and the absence of a semi-auto fire setting, a design pivot that focused entirely on achieving high-volume suppression during the German trial by fire in 1941. It roared at a staggering 1,200 rounds per minute during combat trials on the Eastern Front, pushing the limits of air-cooled technology. While only a few thousand were made, the structural lessons learned from this new MG directly influenced the development of the legendary MG-42.
While the MG-34 was a masterpiece of precision engineering, the escalating demands of total war required a weapon that was faster to build, easier to maintain, and even more terrifying to face. The MG-42 lineage, stamped steel evolution. Maschinengewehr 42, MG-42, Hitler's Buzzsaw. The Maschinengewehr 42 earned the terrifying title of Hitler's Buzzsaw because its insane rate of fire sounded more like a power tool than a traditional firearm. Its most iconic feature is the square, stamped steel barrel shroud with a large side opening for lightning-fast barrel swaps, a critical innovation that allowed gunners to maintain fire even during the most intense firefights. This weapon utilized a revolutionary roller-locked short recoil system, making it one of the most effective and reliable infantry tools of the entire war. It was capable of dominating wide sectors of the battlefield, pinning down entire companies in seconds, and forcing the Allies to completely rethink their small unit tactics.
By 1944, as the Luftwaffe lost control of the skies and fuel supplies dwindled, their high-speed aircraft guns were ripped from redundant wings and forced into the mud of the front line. Luftwaffe ground conversions, ad hoc emergency service. MG-15.
The MG-15 was a flexible aircraft gun pressed into emergency service for paratroopers and Luftwaffe field divisions as the defensive ring around Germany began to collapse. It is distinguished by the massive 75-round saddle double-drum magazine that sits balanced right on top of the receiver, providing a high-capacity punch for a mobile gunner. Because it was designed for the freezing altitudes of the sky, ground troops often had to add improvised stocks and bipods to handle its recoil. While it provided overwhelming fire density, its aircraft-grade rate of fire meant it often chewed through ammunition faster than the struggling logistics chain could ever hope to resupply. MG-17. The MG-17 was a heavy, belt-fed fixed aircraft gun that found a second life as a static guardian of the Reich's borders. On the ground, you'll see it stripped of its synchronized firing gear and mounted on improvised pedestals or heavy static frames because it lacked any traditional furniture for shoulder firing. It was primarily utilized in static defensive positions and airfield protection roles, where its high cyclic rate could turn approach paths into lethal no-go zones for enemy scouts and light vehicles. Though rare in the infantry trench, it was a terrifying obstacle for any Allied unit attempting to breach a fortified Luftwaffe facility.
Maschinengewehr 81 and 81Z, the Doppel MG. The MG-81Z, or Doppel MG, was a twin-barreled nightmare that provided some of the highest fire density ever recorded in World War II ground combat. Its defining visual is the dual-barrel configuration, allowing a single gunner to cycle two belts simultaneously at a combined rate of over 3,000 rounds per minute. Originally designed to defend the rear of bombers, these guns were diverted to fire brigade units and anti-aircraft mounts in the final months of 1945. It provided intense, short-duration firepower that could level a forest tree line, serving as a desperate last-ditch effort to stall the advancing Soviet and Western armies. Maschinengewehr 131, or MG-131. The MG-131 brought 13mm heavy-caliber destruction to the ground war as a specialized anti-materiel tool during the final defense of the Reich. You can see its raw power in the oversized receiver and thick barrel designed to handle heavy, electrically primed rounds that were originally meant to down Allied bombers. While ground versions were often modified with mechanical triggers, they retained their incredible ability to penetrate light armor and transport vehicles with ease. It served as a brutal stopgap for the Volkssturm and retreating Heer units, providing a heavy-duty punch that could halt an armored car or clear a fortified house in a single burst. From the precision of the MG-34 to the sheer terror of the MG-42, these weapons defined the German way of war and forced the Allies to rewrite their own tactical manuals. Their influence didn't end in 1945. It lives on in nearly every modern machine gun used today. If you want to see how the Allies responded to this firepower, click the video on screen now for the story of the M2 Browning. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.